Next Tech Wireless, Burlington Ford, Zimmelman's Jewelry, and Vince's GM.
Mike, your friendly manager at the Goodland Cowboy Corner Express downtown Goodland. Well, Mike started to count the large number of beverages he offers you, but he had to take a rest before he was halfway done. It took him a couple days to finish. It just goes to show you the huge selection of hot, cold, or lukewarm beverages the Cowboy Corner Express has. Not to mention the gazillions of different shaped ice. Hey, Mike, you want to count the ice shapes too?
Fraudsters are out to get your hard-earned money, but you can protect yourself by following 3 simple steps. 1, don't give your account number, card information, or online banking login credentials to anyone. 2, be cautious in responding to unexpected pop-up windows or text messages. And 3, watch your accounts. If you suspect that your bank information has been compromised, call your FNB Bank immediately. We are here to help you protect your hard-earned money. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
At Next Tech Wireless, you are in the driver's seat. With all the latest devices, the choice is yours. You pick between 18, 24, or 36-month terms and get your device on us. Next Tech Wireless, home on the range.
As a customer-owned cooperative, Midwest Energy members elect their board of directors. Ballots for this year's director election are in the mail and must be completed and returned by October 4th. Election results will be announced at our annual meeting on Monday, October 21st, 10 a.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Hayes. We'll give away great door prizes, and all Midwest members are invited to attend. Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
They're having one hail of a sale at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. That's right, a hail sale where you can get massive savings on a new vehicle. For example, get a 23 GMC Sierra 1500 up to $20,000 off when you trade in eligible vehicle, now just over $37,000. A new 24 Chevy Tahoe RST, $13,000 off, now just over $59K. Plus 24 Chevy Traverse RS, $10,000 off, now just over $45,000. Plus many more. It's one hail of a sale at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Goodland's Rocket 1025 is your home for Goodland High School athletics. From touchdowns and three-pointers to home runs, Ross Volkmer has you covered with all the action. Join him for live broadcast on Goodland's Rocket 1025, your front row seat to the Cowboys and Cowgirls. Select games video streamed on the Goodland Voice. GHS athletics this season are made possible in part by
Yost Farm Supply, Lore Electric, Next Tech Wireless, Hurl Chevrolet GMC, and the Cowboy Corner Express.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Give me my cane. I'll show you how to play this game.
The region's only local sports talk.
Dynamite drop-in at broadcast school has really paid off.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 1025, simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
Touchdown, the Cowboys!
To the pros.
And Tendy back on the track. It's out of here. Bobby Witt Jr. delivers a go-ahead grand slam.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Fastball laced through the left side, a base hit into left field. Blanco's in to score. Massey rounds third. Wood bobbles the ball in left. Massey scores standing without a throw. A pinch hit, 2-run go-ahead single. Adam Frazier comes through, and the Royals take a 6-4 lead in the top of the ninth inning.
Next pitch, Blackman hits that a long way to right field. Walker back. It's gone. It hits the top of the wall. A blast off the bat at Charlie Blackman is a 2-run home run.
1-0 to Judge. High fly ball, left field. Cows are back. He's on the track. See ya! Home run number 58. A towering drive.
Prescott will throw it left side. It's caught by Lamb. Breaking away. Layup. Goodbye. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Happy Friday morning, everybody. Glad you could join us here on the Morning Blitz. As always, broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 1025. Also streaming and simulcasting on AM 730 Gold, KLOE, and NWKSradio.net. And our video stream up and rolling, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in, no matter which way you're doing so. Here on a Football Friday, week number 4 of the high school football season will kick off. Well, I shouldn't say kicked off actually last night. Weskin with a dominant win last night over Western Plains. He led to get to 4-0. More on that in just a minute. But we got high school football getting going tonight. A big slate of college football Saturday in the NFL on Sunday. There was some NFL last night. The Dallas Cowboys beating the Giants 20-15 in a field goal fest, if you love that kind of stuff. I know Dak Prescott did throw for a couple of touchdowns, but overall, I would call that game a field goal fest last night on Thursday Night Football. Once again, another turd of a Thursday night game, to be completely honest with you. But we got that. We got the full slate of guests today. We actually have 2 guests coming, one in studio. Dennis McIntyre, the Sherman County Speedway, is going to stop by with Flatlanders Festival going on this weekend, getting going tonight here in Goodland and rolling through the next couple of days. It's a busy night as well at the Sherman County Speedway. So we'll have Dennis McIntyre in for a quick chat at the back end of the show. Connor Nickel will join us at the bottom of the hour from Sunflower Sports Solutions, or S3, and K-Preps. He'll stop by to talk about this week's slate of football games, a little bit of volleyball as well. We'll touch base with Connor Nickel on all that coming up. So it is a full hour here on the Morning Blitz. As always, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. The text line is always open. The F&B Bank text line number, 785-899-2222, number part of the Morning Blitz here on a Football Friday. And a lot to get to in our first segment. Let's get it rolling with the front page.
Read all about it. Read all about it.
The top stories of today.
I got the early edition. Hot off the press.
It's the front page on the Morning Blitz.
Front page, really? Starting yesterday with local sports, little cross country and volleyball updates. Another great showing from the Quinter Bulldogs boys cross country team. They finished first place at the Norton Cross Country Invitational yesterday. They had 4 Quinter individual runners finish inside the top 10. They ended up finishing in first place. Hans Dietzen led Quinter with a third place finish. Hoxie, another great showing. They had 2 guys inside the top 2, led by Michael Hafner, who won first again. He's had a great season so far. And so Hoxie finished in second place in the team side. Hoxie girls also finished in second place, led by Tegan Lindemann, who came in 7th. Goodland finished in third place, led by Jason Gable, who finished in 6th. Norton won their own home invitational in the final girls' standings. Both Colby and Goodland volleyball teams loaded up the bus and headed down south to Hugoton for a quad yesterday. It was great for Colby. The Eagles go 2-0 in dominant fashion. They win in straight sets over both Ulysses and Hugoton. Allie Flanagan, 1,000 career assists for her. Congratulations to that young lady as the Lady Eagles improved to 15-5. It's a great, great start to this 2024 season for the Colby Lady Eagles. I mean, start is stupid. I mean, over halfway through it, and they're 15-5. They're looking really, really good through the first 20 matches of the season is the Colby Lady Eagle volleyball team. Goodland is on the opposite end of the spectrum. Yesterday, they lost in 3 to Hugoton, then were swept by Ulysses. Cowgirls are just 1-12 so far this season. It's been a very tough year for GHS volleyball. Moving on to football last night, Weskin football improved to 4-0. They dominated Western Plains Healy 54-6. The third-ranked Coyotes in six-man have won their first 4 games by an average of 50 points per game. They are absolutely romping everybody on their schedule at this point in time. They have been absolutely dominant. They have Shiloh next, which last year would have been a great game. This year, Shiloh's a little bit down with some new coaching and new players. So graduating a humongous and very talented senior class. And now Weskin seems to be the top dog. No pun intended with Coyote, but the top dog kind of in the region right now in six-man football. They've looked fantastic, and they're dominating their opponents through the first 4 games of the year. Tonight, some very interesting football games. You got Oakley hosting Syracuse. The Plainsmen trying to get their first win of this season, and I think they're going to have a really good chance at doing it. You know, visiting with Jeff Hennick multiple times, including even after the loss to Goodland there at Irwin Stadium. You know, they understand. They knew what was going to happen. They were going to play 3 bigger schools, probably get their teeth kicked in, but now they're prepared. Now they know that, hey, we're going to show some resiliency, and we're going to play teams and schools more our size, and we should be ready to compete and play against these teams. I expect a bounce-back game tonight from Oakley. I just do. A humongous game up north in St. Francis. Of course, we had Grant Wiggers on, St. Francis High School head football coach, join us to talk a little bit about this game. If you missed any of that conversation, you can check it out on the podcast and go back and listen there. But the Indians at home at 3-0, taking on a 2-1 Decatur community team who, even visiting with Grant Wiggers yesterday, say, they got the best of them, did Decatur community all throughout the preseason, at the Jamboree, in summer camps. Maybe 4th time the charm for the Indians as they take on the Red Devils. That should be a dandy of a football game over there in St. Francis. Another good game will be Rollins County going to Hill City. Hill City's got a good program, and Rollins County, of course, has got one of the best running backs in the state in Ryan Schromick. That should be a dandy game. Hoxie will be hosting Stockton for homecoming. The number 1 ranked Indians, you expect them to get an easy win. I would expect here tonight. Wallace County also having homecoming tonight, hosting Dighton. That is a tough opponent. Dighton having a fantastic season so far. Quinter plays host to Ness City for homecoming as well. Wheatland Grinnell will be on the road at Logan Palco. Cheyenne will be at Northern Valley. And Golden Plains also hosting homecoming tonight, taking on Tri-Plains Brewster. So 4 homecoming games tonight for 4 area high schools. We'll see how that all shakes out. But like I said, I think probably the game of the week in our region is Decatur Community at St. Francis. I've said that now for a few days in a row. But there are 2 other games that I think are, how do I want to describe it? Prove it to me games. How about that? Prove it to me games. Goodland going to Holcomb and Colby going to Hugoton. Both have long road trips ahead. Colby much longer than Goodland's. Nonetheless, still a long road trip ahead tonight. And both against opponents that are definitely going to be big steps up in competition compared to what they played to this point in time. But minus of course, Ray, I would say on that. Minus Ray would be my 1 point on that. So minus Ray on Goodland's schedule, but the last 2 games compared to this one's a big jump up for Goodland. Colby, they had a tight game against Holyoke, Colorado, which is a good program. But the Ulysses game and the Cimarron game. What am I missing my mind here? Was it Cimarron last week? Whoever they beat. Yeah, it was Cimarron last week. It's 22-0. Those games there, this is a humongous step up. I know Hugoton graduated a lot of players, but Coach Witt's done a great job at that program. They run a great offense. They're a physical football team. This will be a great test tonight for Colby to see if their 3-0 start is legit and can they get to 4-0. If they win this game tonight, that's a humongous feather in their cap. Not saying they can't win the game, but I think tonight is just a big step up in comparison to the 3 games they've played. Same exact thing for Goodland. Yes, I know you played at Ray. Once again, I have a lot of respect for Ray. I think they're going to be a team vying for a state title over in Colorado. But since then, you've taken down Burlington as well as Oakley by a combined score of 98-12. And now you're going on the road to Holcomb, who's a team that, yes, stumbled out of the gate against the defending 3A state champion Cheney, which that's not a surprise. but they've taken care of business against Ulysses as well as, of course, now trying to think off the top of my head, Cimarron as well. They had Cimarron there too. So in kind of getting ready for this game tonight between Goodland and Holcomb, like I think the Cowboys, I'm just really looking to hopefully see if the Cowboys can make it a 4-quarter game. Can we get into that final 12 minutes and still kind of have it being hanging in the balance? That's what I want to see. Been too many games against Holcomb where you get to halftime or it's it's early in the third quarter and this game's kind of out of hand and we're just going to kind of play the final 24 minutes and get out of here. I want to see if we get into the fourth quarter if Goodland is going to hang around down there with Holcomb. I think Holcomb definitely has some great players led by the Johnson brothers, Keegan and Corbin. They've got they got a humongous, and I do mean humongous, offensive and defensive lines. But I just want to see if they can hang around a little bit. Can they keep the run game going? Can they keep that balance of pass and run? And I think Holcomb has at times showed, I think, a few kinks in the armor, turning the ball over a little bit more than I think they're used to. Lots of turnovers. They're actually -3 in turnover margin, where the Cowboys are +4. So I just want to see how those things stack up tonight. But hopefully the Cowboys do not go in intimidated, because Holcomb is a team they haven't beaten, I think, since 2010. They've lost 12 straight to them. And it's been pretty lopsided in those games. But you know what? I just hope they go down there, they play with their hair on fire, and they're able to go down there and make that a 4-quarter game. That's what I hope to see. I think it could be a really good football game. Once again, if you go out there and you make it a 4-quarter contest, put a little pressure on Holcomb and see how it looks. So, very fascinating game. Once again, Goodland at Holcomb right here on Rocket 102.5, beginning with Goodland Game Day presented by the Insurance Agency. That kicks off at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, where we will have our senior spotlight visit with Xavier Jackson, as well as Herman Herrera. We'll talk with Lance Cornelson. He's the radio voice of the Holcomb Longhorns. And we will also, of course, get our pregame coaches conversation in with head coach Jordan Mosier and all that good stuff an hour before kickoff at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And, of course, Colby will be down in Hugoton. That's a 7 o'clock Central kick with coverage beginning at 6 o'clock Central on 100.3 The Ride with Max Gershaw. So there you go. Big slate of high school football on tap for tonight. Saturday, not a very busy Saturday. Very slow after it's kind of a skip week, I guess. Last week, very busy with a lot of tournaments and stuff. Not so much this week. Bit more tournaments next week. And then after that, you've got like league tournaments like the second weekend of October. So the volleyball season, I swear, and fall sports just go by in the blink of an eye because it's pretty much done in 2 months, unless you're playing deep into the postseason for football. But Colby and Goodland tennis teams are expected to compete down in Garden City Saturday. And Colby Community College volleyball bouncing back with a nice win, a sweep of Dodge City on Wednesday, hosts Garden City on Saturday, looking to continue their great 2024 season at this point in time. Speaking of Saturday, full slate of college football. Number 23 ranked K-State hosts number 20 Oklahoma State in what our good friend James Westling calls the Anxiety Bowl. Both teams trying to rebound from losses last week. Both teams really kind of getting kicked in the teeth. Oklahoma State by Utah, K-State by BYU. This is a humongous game. I really had a tough time making my pick on this game on who I think is going. I just don't know who's going to respond best. You would think K-State would with being at home, but Oklahoma State's kind of got a little bit older team. Going on the road maybe is a good thing sometimes. I don't know. That game to me is fascinating. I think it's going to be a real dandy of a football game. That's an early kickoff, 11 o'clock Central, 10 Mountain Time. And, of course, you can listen to it on 100.3 The Ride. Kansas, they look to try and stamp a 3-game losing streak. Who would have thought we would have been in this spot 4 games in with KU? But they're at Arrowhead, maybe a change of venue, as the Arrowhead will now host the rest of the Kansas football games. I believe they host TCU in a game that's set to kick at 2:30 Central Time, 1:30 Mountain Time on Flower Country 97.9. Can Kansas get off the field defensively, and can the offense not turn the ball over, in particular Jalen Daniels? That'll be the huge piece. It's been the key in every game. If they don't turn the ball over, which I think means turn around and hand it to 4 and let him run more behind that good offensive line, I would start with that. Make the passing game simpler for Jalen Daniels, not so much down the field. And then defense got to get off the field. TCU's defense has proven to give up a lot of points, but they've also scored a lot of points offensively. So could be a shootout there at Arrowhead. And then also on Saturday, Nebraska is at Purdue. They're looking for a bounce-back game after they lost to Illinois. Purdue has really had a rough couple of weeks. with blowout losses to both Oregon State as well as Notre Dame. It's homecoming at Purdue. We'll see if Nebraska rebounds well. Really needs to get back on the truck. That defense needs to get a few things ironed out. They got to get a little bit more assignment sound on the defensive side if you're Nebraska, because otherwise offensively, they need to find a way to get that ground game going, although that's going to be a challenge because the offensive line seems to be banged up right now for Nebraska. And then Colorado going down to Florida, the land of Disney, to take on UCF is Colorado, which I think is going to be an entertaining football game. I really do. I think we're going to see a ton of points. I think we're going to see UCF put up 40-plus points and Colorado put up 35, 40-plus points. I really do. It's going to be a lot of points. So I think that's going to be a very exciting. I think UCF's like a 2-touchdown favorite. I think Colorado's going to keep it closer than that, but I think you're going to see a lot of points. I feel more confident in that. So that's your Saturday football slate in college football. And then, of course, Sunday, Broncos look to try to win back-to-back games. They'll take on the Jets up there in East New Rutherford, or is it just East Rutherford, New Jersey? There we go. Is where they'll be in the course. Chiefs and Chargers meet an AFC West divisional matchup. Denver has the early kickoff at 11 a.m. Mountain right here on Rocket 102.5, and Kansas City has kickoff at 3:25 Central Time on 100.3 The Ride for your Sunday slate of professional football. Also, want to highlight baseball real quickly before we get out of here. The Royals continue to win when it matters most. They complete the sweep of the Nationals. They win 7-4. Adam Frazier, you heard it on the intro there, the 2-run single in the ninth to break the tie. How about the Royals bullpen through that series against Washington, allowing just 2 measly runs in 28 innings? That is highly impressive. Royals still, though, because the Tigers keep winning, remain tied with the Tigers for the second AL wildcard spot. I believe their magic number is 2. They got to win 2 more games. And boy, is it fascinating that the Royals are on the road in Atlanta taking on the Braves over the weekend in what is their final 3 games of the regular season. And Atlanta needs all the wins they can get to try and get into the postseason. Both teams need wins or their seasons could be over. What a fascinating final 3 games of Major League Baseball regular season. Rob Manfred couldn't have planned it any better. That's just going to be super entertaining. You can listen to all 3 of those games on AM 790 KXXX. And the Rockies, they rallied to beat the Cardinals 10-8, avoiding a series sweep. I don't know why Charlie Blackmon is retiring. Maybe he should have announced at the beginning of the season that he was, because he's playing out of his gourd. Had 3 RBIs, including a 2-run homer in one of his final games of his career. The Rockies scored 5 runs in the 8th inning, highlighted by Ezekiel Tovar's game-tying double, and then Ryan McMahon had the go-ahead 2-bagger after him. The Rockies, they have to host the Dodgers for the final 3 games of the 2024 season starting tonight. So that'll be a fascinating end to see. I'd love to see if the Rockies could take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. Dodgers have already clinched. They may not be playing a lot, so I'd like to see the Rockies take a cup. But they do need to continue to fight to the Dodgers for that for that NL West crown. The Padres are not giving that up very easily. So Rockies and Dodgers this weekend from Coors Field. And what'll be the final 3 games of the season for the Rockies? They are done after this, obviously. They are done. There you go. That is a look at the front page here on a Football Friday. Boy, a lot going on. I was also going to look up real quick before we get to break. I forgot to look up where Colorado State is. Are they on the docket this weekend? I was going to look and see if they're on the docket this week in Air Force. They might be off. We'll see. Been a lot of stuff going on in the Mountain West. Who knows? Maybe they need to break. Let's see here. Yeah, Colorado State does not play. Does Air Force play today? Yes, Air Force does play this weekend. Oh, they're at Wyoming. That's a late game. 6 o'clock Central Time. Air Force at Wyoming. That ought to be an easy win for the Falcons. Shouldn't. Boy, Wyoming's having a really tough year. Really tough year since the retirement of Craig Bohl. It's really been hard for the Cowboys. All right, there you go. The front page here on a Football Friday. Let's get to a timeout. When we come back, we are going to dive heavy into our guests of the day. Our first one coming up is Connor Nickel from Sunflower Sports Solutions and K-Preps. We'll talk more high school football and some high school volleyball as well next here on the Morning Blitz.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
The staff at Lansing Trade Group had a morning meeting this morning. So in lieu of opening markets, here's a look at how the markets closed yesterday.
And today, December corn traded lower 2 cents at 4.13 1/4. March down 2 1/4 at 4.31. May down 2 1/2 at 4.41. And July corn down 2 1/2 at 4.46 3/4. November beans down 12 today at 10.41. January down 12 1/2 at 10.59 1/4. March down 11 3/4 at 10.73. And May beans down 11 3/4 at 10.85 3/4. Chicago wheat, the December contract down 5 cents at 5.84 1/4. March down 4 cents at 6.04 1/4. May down 3 1/2 at 6.15. And July down 3 1/4 at 6.20. Kansas City wheat, the December contract traded lower 2 cents today at 5.79. March down 1 1/2 at 5.93 3/4. May down a cent at 6.02 3/4. And July down 3/4 cents at 6.08. On the cattle side of things today, live cattle traded higher at $1.15 at 184.10. Feeders up a buck at 246.92. Lean hogs down 45 cents at 82.02. On the stock market, the Dow up 257 at 42,171. The S&P up 21 at 5,743. Gold up $12.70 an ounce at 2,697. And crude oil down $2.15 at 67.56. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call, John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Heather Dosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise. At Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
When it comes to growing soybeans, you need an advantage. And with Zetavo soybean seed, you get a big one. 3.4 bushels per acre big. It's a yield advantage made possible by BASF genetics, proprietary germplasm, and industry-leading seed quality. Talk to your retailer today about staying ahead of the game with Zetavo soybean seed from BASF. Zetavo soybean seed.
The Burlington Home Store has a yard work center. They're your garden center, everything you need. Home construction and repair, plus a great line of cleaning supplies and appliances for your home. Burlington Home Store, your full-service lumber yard. You'll need hand and power tools, too. They've got them by your windows, storm doors, screens, maybe even a barbecue grill. All at your Burlington Home Store, West Burlington. And the staff knows how to help you, and they will, too, at the Burlington Home Store.
You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
How about sports? You follow sports?
With Ross Volkmer.
Dennis McIntyre of the Sherman County Speedway will be stopping by here in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. We'll be visiting with him about Flatlanders Fall Festival and all the events going on at the Speedway. With a lot of races, a lot of prize money. Going to be a good time this weekend at the Flatlander Fall Festival. Of course, it gets going tonight with lots of Friday night events at Chambers Park. You get starting at 5 o'clock. Take your radio and catch Goodland Cowboy football. There's live music, a variety of vendors, delicious food trucks, tons of activities for the whole family all weekend long here in Goodland. Plus, of course, the cool car and bike shows. Love walking up and down Main Street, looking at all the cool classic cars and bikes. Of course, more information can be found at flatlanderfallfestival.org. And if you're in town, welcome. Welcome to Goodland. Glad that you're joining us for another edition of the Flatlander Fall Festival, 38th annual Flatlander Fall Festival. All right, let's get to the phones, and our good friend Connor Nickel joins us now to talk a little high school football. Connor, welcome again to the show. Thanks again for spending some time with us.
Yeah, a lot of interesting games going on this week. Several in the area. We also have a 1 versus 2 matchup in Class 1A this week. So at this point, I think everybody after this week, everybody has played somebody very good and somebody maybe not so good. So I think the separation generally after week 4 is when it starts to really happen.
Well, let's start off first and foremost with that number 1 versus number 2 meeting in Class 1A. I know you got a lot of stuff on the 1A classification this week.
Yeah, this is so Conway Springs. They won 1A last year. They returned, so they graduate Braden Koontz, who rushed for nearly 3,000 yards last year. But they return a bunch of linemen. They return their fullback. It's kind of moved immediately into that top running back position, Isaac Winter. And last year, this game kind of was very much under the radar because at this point, both teams were not ranked very high or maybe not ranked at all. But last year in week 4, they beat Medicine Lodge 40-34, which I actually thought was Medicine Lodge. I thought was going to be the team who was going to win this game last year. And since that game, Conway Springs has not lost. So Conway Springs right now has won 14 consecutive games, which is a top 3 winning streak for all classes in Kansas. Of course, Wescon's top 5. And Medicine Lodge turned out their best season since 1987 last year, going to the state semifinals. These two teams matched up in the state semifinals last year, and Conway won that game 34-19. So here we are again. Now all of a sudden, it's a year later, and this is the highlighted game in Kansas, all classes, 1 versus 2. Conway, as we mentioned, great running back, great line. Medicine Lodge has Kevon Ruiz at quarterback, an amazing dual threat player who's just an exceptional talent. They pass it very, very well. They've got some really big linemen. Medicine Lodge has made it very, very well known. We want to win 1A this year. I got to watch Hoxie last Friday against Ellis, a team that scored a lot of points in 2 weeks. Hoxie was very dominant. Sam Watkins was my athlete of the week this week on Sunflower Sports Solutions. And Hoxie is not shying away from this. Their goal is to win 1A this year. So I think that 1A, after this week, there's going to be some separation as to who is that true state favorite between Conway and then ML. I think that Hoxie has established itself as the 1A1 favorite. But again, we've got some other games out west, particularly the St. Francis Oberlin game, that have a lot of factors into who will be in that tier in eight-man this year.
We're visiting with Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions and K-Preps here on the Hoover Lumber Hardware Hotline. Yeah, can you go a little bit more in depth on that St. Francis Decatur community game? I think that's going to be a really good contest.
Yeah, I think so. Too. In the summer on K-Preps, I partnered with them for a long time. I had named St. Francis as a K-Preps potential breakout team. That I've done this now 11 years. 70% of those teams improve the next season. I believe that St. Francis was going to very, very much improve, basically bringing everybody back. One thing I was going to look at is their passing game. When you bring back a quarterback and Lucas Riley is back for St. Francis, generally your passing game improves a lot. Lucas Riley, 3 games this year, 78% completion, 9 TDs to one pick. So a guy that has immensely improved. If you look at last year, St. Francis goes 3-6, and he completed 50% of his passes, 11 TDs, 12 picks. I really thought St. Francis's passing game would improve immensely this year, and it really has. Oberlin, I think, opened a lot of eyes this season in week 2 when they played Dighton, who obviously is a top 5 Division I team, to only 4 points. Oberlin's 2-1. I thought they were going to be a lot better this year too. They're a little bit more ball control than what Saney has been. But these are two teams on the rise. And there was somebody who told me this summer that they believed Oberlin was going to challenge Atwood and Hoxie in the West. So this is a very interesting game. I've got St. Francis as a slight favorite, but these are two very, very quality teams for sure.
Once again, we're visiting with Connor Nickel of K-Preps and Sunflower Sports Solutions. I know that you've been doing some more research into some other area teams. Colby versus Hugoton is going to be a very, very big game, I think, at the 11-man ranks. And Weskin continues to roll here early on this season.
Yeah, Weskin, it's been fascinating. Talked with Coach Clough a couple of days ago, and he had sent out some really detailed stats. They don't use max preps or those things, at least not on a weekly basis, probably. Quarterback Nick Cottrell, 443 yards passing, 10 TDs, no picks. 7 different receivers have caught TD passes. Carson Wright has been great on the ground. Defensively, they have 4 defensive touchdowns, 3 games. Judah Crow and Trey Allen, Carson Wright have all been a part of that. The defense is only allowing 5 points per game. I mean, game man has already forced 10 turnovers. This is a great Weskin team, and I believe that they are your 6-man West favorite. Ingalls and South Barber are close. Those teams will kind of play each other as the season goes on. But right now, Weskin has kind of separated itself, and I believe that will certainly continue there. So again, Weskin's a really good team. They're on this nice winning streak right now. They have not lost since a week 2 loss to Shiloh last year. So again, one of the top 5 current winning streaks in all of Kansas, really establishing themselves. We've got them ranked number 3 in 6-man. And I think that's where they definitely should be. Really interested in Colby so far this year. What you look at their strength of schedule, and you're like, who have they really played? They have not. It's not been an overly daunting schedule. You are 3-0, which is great. Ulysses, Hoyle, Colorado, or Hoy Lake, Colorado, and Cimarron. I'm really interested to see, can they score on Friday? Can they match Hugoton's offense? I think that Jay Witt, the longtime Oklahoma coach, has come in and has done a really nice job. By and large, Hugoton has put up more points this year, especially against a quality Lakin team. 32-22 last week. I didn't know necessarily how that game was going to go, but can Colby's defense slow down Hugoton's offense is the question for me on Friday.
Before we get into your athletes of the week, I wanted to just quickly give you a quick moment to touch on some volleyball. I know one of the volleyball teams around our region, Oakley, is off to a fantastic start, 16-3. They did drop a couple of matches here this last week, but 16-3 despite those 2 losses and in the top 10 ranking. It's been a long time since Oakley volleyball has been in that spot. I was curious if there's any other volleyball teams that have really caught your eye here early on this season.
Oh, and I want to highlight Oakley for sure. And I have, I saw Oakley volleyball play this summer, and they played Victoria. Actually saw that match, and we played Oakley basketball this summer. And I told Coach Martin in basketball, I said, "You guys have it going on. You guys, I think they're going to be. I really truly believe, Ross, they will be a top 5 2A basketball team this winter. They've got a great freshman class coming in. They're super experienced. I am very high on Oakley across the board this year, and I am not surprised at all with how good they have been. They're very experienced. They're very senior laden. They've got a lot of talent. I'm not surprised at all with how good they have been. You look at who they have beaten to, a lot of early three set wins. And I heard, Plainville, who has not been great, Oakley beat them in 3, but talking to the Plainville people, Plainville will probably be the best Plainville has played all season long. They've beaten Greeley County a couple of times this year, also in 3 sets. And generally speaking, 3-set matches, that separates very good from great. And Hoxie, of course, is your defending 2A state runner-up. Greeley County is a fantastic team. I've just been very impressed with Oakley across the board, and that the Greeley County match in particular, they lost the first set, and then Oakley came back and won the next two. Their defense has been outstanding. Greeley's got these awesome hitters, and Oakley held them to .080 hitting, which is fantastic. Oakley, again, a definite team to watch. Not surprised by this turnaround at all.
Final one before we let you go, Connor. Your athletes of the week. You mentioned one earlier from Hoxie. Where are the other ones from?
Yeah, so Sam Watkins was our boy athlete of the week, and for the girls, we actually highlighted TMP Bryn Riebel, the sophomore libero. She was all-state in softball in the spring. She was a pitcher, outstanding player. Has been top 2 in the state in digs, an outstanding athlete, and somebody that has been off to a really good start on a team similar to Oakley that is very, very experienced. They have 7 seniors and 2 sophomores on varsity, but those 2 sophomores played on varsity last year. And so I think that this will be a very, very good season for TMP. And you could see Oakley and TMP being your 2 best MCL teams this year.
Great stuff as always from Connor Nickel. Follow him on social media on X on C Nickel Hayes, and many other ways, of course, on S3, Sunflower Sports Solutions, and K-Preps. Connor, thanks as always. Have a great rest of your week.
It's certainly, Ross. Thanks so much.
Great stuff as always there from Connor Nickel. All right, let's get to a break. We'll come back. We're talking racing with Dennis McIntyre, the Sherman County Speedway, next here on the Morning Blitz.
They're having one hail of a sale at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. That's right, a hail sale where you can get massive savings on a new vehicle. For example, get a 23 GMC Sierra 1500 up to $20,000 off when you trade in eligible vehicle, now just over $37,000. A new 24 Chevy Tahoe RST, $13,000 off, now just over $59K. Plus 24 Chevy Traverse RS, $10,000 off, now just over $45,000. Plus many more. It's one hail of a sale at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
Even though your attention has turned back to school with events and activities, you just can't forget everything going on at home. That's where your local Hoover Lumber Ace hardware stores in Goodland and Colby come in. Keep the lawn in check with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. They are still your local Benjamin Moore paint retailer, and they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills and griddles from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. Plus, their helpful and knowledgeable staffs are some of the best in the Northwest. It's all at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Since 1901, F&B Bank has been serving our local ranchers, farmers, and other ag-related businesses, and many of our team members grew up in the ag environment. That being said, we understand your business doesn't fall into a one-size-fits-all model, so why should your loans? You can count on us to understand the uniqueness of your operation and meet each one of your financing needs. Come see me, Casey Schilling, to begin building that relationship today. F&B Bank, member FDIC.
Bringing you the best regional sports talk.
Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
From scores to stories, the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Got about 14 minutes left to go here on a Friday morning show. Thanks to Connor Nickel for stopping on by. As always, miss any of that conversation, download the podcast, follow us, subscribe, like The Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. And you can catch the show anytime you like. I do that a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't get to listen to the shows live. And if you are a podcast listener, thank you for being one. We appreciate you. All right, let's continue with our doubleheader here today of guests. We are pleased to be joined in studio now by Dennis McIntyre, a good friend from the Sherman County Speedway. Good morning, Dennis. How's it going today?
Morning, Ross. How's everybody doing?
We are doing just fine. This is a very, very busy weekend at the Speedway upcoming here. Tell us all about it.
Yes, it is. This is our last race, Flatlanders Fall Festival Classic. 2-day show, complete shows both days. We've had some good sponsors show up and come across with over $5,400 worth of extra prize money.
Wow.
So that makes us, the payouts for modifieds Friday and Saturday is $1,000 to win. Stock cars are $750 to win both nights. Sport mods Friday is $500, Saturday $600. Hobbies, Friday's 500, Saturday 600. Sport compacts are 150 Friday and 200 on Saturday. A lot of friends in the
A lot of
community.
cash.
Yeah, a lot of people come. Want to thank the sponsor, for people to come up with that kind of money to help us track along, because that's one of the small things that doesn't cost very much to go watch and compete at. I mean, competing is the more money you have, the faster you can go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Dennis McIntyre joining us in studio from the Sherman County Speedway. Is a big weekend ahead here with Flatlanders Fall Festival and, of course, the 2 days of racing. What time does it get going tonight, correct?
Yes.
What time does it start?
Pit gates open at 2 today. Grandstands open at 4. And racing's at 5:30, or hot laps at 5:30, racing to follow. So about the same for tomorrow night. Pit gates open at 2. Grandstands open at 3:30, and we race, about 5:30, and pit hot laps and 5 racing after that. So,
are you expecting a good turnout of racers? Do you have a good number of racers? Are you still? I'm guessing if you want to come, if you hear this, like, oh, I'm going to go race tonight, you still can. But I was curious where you sit at now on numbers of cars.
As of yesterday at 5 o'clock, right around 5 o'clock, there was 35 cars pre-entered. We expect probably another 20, 30 to show up today. Even more tomorrow, because with work and everybody couldn't get off of work or get here in time. So that's always something you have to look at.
Of all the classifications, which one's your favorite, Dennis?
Modified.
You like the high end ones.
Yes. The faster you go, the better off I am.
Dennis likes speed. He likes that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Back in the day, I used to race a late model, which we don't do that here, but yeah.
Oh, that'll be, like I said, a lot of exciting racing going on. What's the condition the track is in as we're set for here these next 2 days?
The track is looking awesome. Last night when I left, it was looking very good, very fast, racy. We'll put the finishing touches on this morning, and it will be ready to go by race time.
Can you go through the process of what you did to get to today, and then what the finishing process is?
For the track, we, after the last race, then we wait a while. We disc it up, water it, disc it some more, water some more, water. And then we sheep's foot it, which is packing and sheep's footing. And we plane it with a land plane, make sure it's all level and the right angle and everything. And then water again and plane it again and water and sheep's foot and packing and keep going.
It's fascinating to me that you disc it. What's the point of disking it? And because it already is kind of packed down, why do you want to loosen it up to then repack?
So the water goes down in the moisture, kind of like a field out there.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
If it gets hard packed on the field, the water won't go down very far. And that's what we want the water to go down in, because when it cools off at night, that water will come back up, and then it makes it awesome racing service.
Well, there you go. And we're expecting an awesome. It's going to be even a really warm weekend this weekend, too. Well, how much will that, you being a former racer, how much does that impact the weather possibly and how you race? Does it have much impact at all? Minus, of course, when it rains, obviously. But
yeah, it depends on how slick the track's going to get, how dry it's going to get. We try not to let it be dry and keep it moist so it's good, got good traction. And as a racer point of view, you have to read the track, see what it's going to do, because you can't go into turn one or even in any turn full bore if it's slick. If you got the moisture there and there's tackiness, then you can go and go.
Once again, Dennis McIntyre joins us in studio from the Sherman County Speedway. It's a big 2-day event and the final ones of the season, right? At the Speedway.
Yes.
So the final 2 days at the Speedway here for the Sherman County Speedway. And so we got a lot of cars coming in, even more expected for Saturday, and should be a lot of fun there. What else do people need to know before they get set for tonight, Dennis?
The grandstand prices are $15 for adults 13 and up, $10 for kids 6 and 12, 5 and under is free for both nights. Pit passes are $30 for 13 and above, and $10 for 0 to 12. So, and just a quick reminder that if your child's never been in the pits before, you have to sign a waiver, parent waiver that's just how insurance minor waiver, that's how it is. So I don't know exactly what it does. I'm not into that part of political stuff.
I'm not a lawyer.
But it keeps everybody insured, I think, and everything safe.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Everyone needs to be safe to have a good time for sure. Once again, it's the Flatlander Fall Festival and the Sherman County Speedway, their big 2-day event. Before we let you go, Dennis, once again, go through the classifications and the prize money given out. And once again, any racers out there listening, if you want to make it tonight or tomorrow, the door is open.
Yep. Both nights for Friday and Saturday night, it pays $1,000 to win for modifieds, and it's an all-star qualifier. Stock cars is $750 for either night, so Friday night, Saturday night, and an all-star qualifier. Sport mods is $500 Friday, $600 Saturday. Hobbies is $500 Friday, $600 Saturday. Sport compacts is $150 Friday, and $200 on Saturday. So we want everybody to come out and see your local boys run. There's going to be some people, we hope, from far away coming and give them some competition, but everybody come out and see your local people run.
No, there you go. Make your way out there. Once again, start times of both days.
It is 4 to 5. We'll run hot laps and then racing to follow on both nights. Pretty close. Yep. So
there you go. So 4 o'clock Mountain. Get there between 4 and 5, and then you can make sure you'll you see all the good racing that happens there. Yeah. By the way, were you ever an all-star qualifier?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
They didn't have that. They didn't have that back then.
Oh, back in my day, they didn't have that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I raced in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. So once again, big day tonight. And of course, a huge day tomorrow with Flatlanders going on all around Goodland. And of course, with the Sherman County Speedway and all that stuff. And of course, if you have questions, you see Dennis, he'll probably have the answer for you. Anything.
If I don't have it, I will find it.
He'll find the answer for you. So Dennis, thank you so much for coming on in. Best of luck this weekend at the track.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Once again, great stuff there from Dennis McIntyre here on the Morning Blitz as we wrap up a show here on this Friday. Before we get into some picks, I wanted to quickly get through a couple more things here rather quickly. Another reminder of a lot of local sports going on here this weekend, which includes, of course, Goodland and Colby tennis going down to Garden City on Saturday. Colby Community College volleyball will be hosting Garden City for a single match at the Colby Event Center, the final of, I think, of a 3-game home stretch for CCC. And of course, tonight, a loaded night of high school football. If you're not going to make it out to the Speedway, you can make it out to your local gridiron and watch a lot of great high school football. Golden Plains hosting Tri-Plains Brewster. That's a homecoming game. Shiloh visiting Northern Valley. Wheatland Grinnell going to Logan Palco. Quinter will host Ness City for homecoming. Wallace County will host Dighton for homecoming. The Tops team in 1A D1 Hoxie will host Stockton for their homecoming game tonight. Rollins County visiting Hill City, which should be an entertaining game. So should, of course, Decatur Community going to St. Francis. That will be a very big game tonight up there in Saney. Look forward to seeing how that all plays out. Oakley will host Syracuse tonight. The Plainsmen trying to get a win in the left side of that win-loss column after starting off the season 0-3. And, of course, you've got Colby going to Hugoton tonight, which you can hear on 100.3, The Ride. We heard Connor Nickel talk about it. We'll see if Colby – this is a great measuring stick game. Connor Nickel talked about how, if you're a football team, you get to week 4, this is where you start to kind of separate the men from the boys. You get those 3 non-district games to kind of figure out what you got. Now let's see what it is. It's a great measuring stick game for Colby down Hugoton. And the same thing can be said for Goodland going down to Holcomb. With the Longhorns being a team that's, a consistent playoff team that goes 1 or 2 rounds deep, every 2 to 3 rounds deep, I should say, every year in the postseason. Can the Cowboys find a way to hang around and make this a 4-quarter game, maybe steal it at the end down at Holcomb and try and end what's a 12-game losing streak to the Longhorns dating back to 2010. Been a long, long time since the Cowboys have beaten Holcomb, and we'll see if they can possibly do it tonight because the Cowboys are off to their best start, 2-1 since 2020, and to get to 3-1 be their best start, I think, since 2013. So be if the Cowboys could pull off the upset win down at Holcomb here tonight. All right, that'll do it for our show. Let's get to the walk-off and make some picks.
A 3-run walk-off home run, a game-winning walk-off with a walk-off. His second walk-off hit of the season. In walk-off fashion, that baby's gone.
All right. I know, once again, I have not been good in the picks department. I know that. In fact, I'll admit it. 5-14-1 overall this year. The picks are absolutely terrible, so you probably want to do the opposite of what I say. I was 1-5 last year. We'll see if we can find a way to get a few more right this week. Give me Oklahoma State at Kansas State. I'm taking the under at 57.5. Something says to me that game we're just going to see a good defensive, a little bit more defense than offense. Maybe teams a little bit hesitant, not wanting to turn the ball over. Want to keep this game close, so I'm going to take the under 57.5. Okie State at K-State. KU hosting TCU. I'm going to say KU covers the 1.5 point spread. I think they get off the schneid. They find a way to get a win, whether it's by a field goal or a touchdown. KU covers the 1.5 in a very even game. I think KU gets the cover and gets the win, ends that 3-game losing streak. Nebraska goes to Purdue. I'm going to say Purdue covers the 10-point spread as of right now. I think Nebraska still finds a way to win, but Purdue is backed into a corner. Nebraska is kind of backed up into a corner as well. So give me Purdue at home on homecoming to cover the 10 points. And I'm going to take the over on Colorado UCF at 61.5. I think we're going to see possibly a game where we see 70 combined total points. Denver at the Jets. I'll take the over at 39.5. They don't think that apparently Denver's going to score much against that Jets defense. They might not. 39.5 is not a lot of points. I think they just barely cover that. Maybe the Jets get a few more scores with Aaron Rodgers and the Chiefs at the Chargers. I say the Chiefs cover the 7. I'm out of here. We'll see you back here on a Monday. Catch Goodland football tonight. You're listening to The Morning Blitz.
KKCI, Goodland, Colby, Burlington, Rocket 102.5.